Now to that mudslide that destroyed homes in Sausalito. A woman was inside a home that slid from Sausalito Boulevard, crashing into another home on Crescent Boulevard.
We have team coverage on the slide. We begin with KPIX 5's Ann Makovec, who is live at the scene. Ann.
Yeah, they are dealing with a lot of challenges right now in this neighborhood. You can see the mess here behind me. I'm going to give you a closer look after this house came down from a block away up the hill, taking another house with it. The hillside right now is unstable, and at this point, they have no idea when this neighborhood will be safe. At around 3 this morning, this house slid off of its foundation several hundred feet up the hill. There was a woman on the second floor who came down with it, Susan Gordon. She ended up buried in debris, but somehow had only minor injuries after firefighters pulled her out. She's already out of the hospital. Rescue workers spent the morning making sure no one else was stuck inside.
Yeah, I'm just worried about my neighbor.
And we heard from one survivor whose home was in the path of destruction.
It sounded like a tornado, kind of, but then I thought it was an earthquake.
Lisa Mulbert got out of bed to see what had happened.
And I smelled tree, and I went in and I heard the creak, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I thought the door was flown open, but it was actually a tree busted through the kitchen window.
When the sun came up this morning, we got a chance to get a little closer to this huge pile that was obviously once somebody's home. You can see signs of life here amongst the mess. There's a BMW that got crushed by the debris, a shirt still on its hanger, a pile of clothes, and a picture in a frame. In all, 2 houses are destroyed and many others damaged from trees, mud, and water that continues to flow downhill.
There's an awful lot of unstable soil around the buildings. There's a significant amount of damage assessment to be done. And until we can do that, we really can't let people back in.
Lisa's upstairs neighbor's stairway detached from the building. It's somewhere in this mess.
So they had to go down through their living room window down onto my deck, basically, to get out.
And you can see we have engineers out here now behind me. They have been dealing with a gas leak, a possible water main break, and power outages. And the real concern is what's next, because the rain, of course, is not over yet. Live in Sausalito, Ann Makovec, KPIX 5.
And thank you. And here's a look at the mess from Chopper 5. You can see the roof of the home that slid down the hillside. It now appears to be resting on that White House. You can also see debris slid hundreds of yards down the hill. Just above the hill sits Highway 101, which is open, but dozens of homes around the slide are too dangerous to be inside and have been evacuated.
Our Wilson Walker continues our team coverage. He is live at an evacuation center at Sausalito City Hall. Wilson?
Yeah, the folks that have been moved out of their homes because of the slide are here at City Hall. And here earlier was the woman who was in the middle of that mess. You heard there was one woman who sort of went with the slide this morning, and the one injury involved in this mess. She was here earlier today. I saw her briefly. She is pretty banged up, has a big welt on her face, kind of scratched up. And as you might expect, she is not interested in talking to the media quite yet. But obviously just an incredible story to come from her, having been in the middle of that slide. And as we were mentioning, about a dozen folks right now who have been forced out of their homes, now staying here at City Hall.
Unbelievable. To be so close to it was incredible. So I think we're just lucky to be alive, and luckily our neighbor, she's okay.
Zachary Garza says he could feel the earth and his neighbor's home give way this morning.
The sound was almost like 2 freight trains crashing together.
Now he's among the evacuees gathered here at Sausalito City Hall.
We're expecting probably 15 to 18 clients, couples, single people. Had one family come in with a small baby.
And as for the evacuation on the hill, no word on how long that will last.
Well, the Red Cross has been helping us out, and we're just going to find a friend of ours is going to let us stay with her and just try to get everything together and kind of regroup and assess what we're going to do moving forward.